The Remonstrants of the Dutch Protestants who, after the death of Jacobus Arminius, maintained the views associated with his name. In 1610 they presented to the states of Holland and Friesland a remonstrance in 5 articles formulating the points of disagreement with Calvinism. History. The 5 articles include that the divine decree of predestination is conditional, not absolute, that the atonement is in intention universal, that man cannot of himself exercise a saving faith, that though the grace of God is a necessarily condition of human effort, it does not act irresistibly in man, and that believers are able to resist sin but are not beyond the possibility of falling from grace. Their adversaries, inspired by Franciscus Gomarus, became known as Gomarus counter-remonstrants. Although the States General issued an edict tolerating both parties and forbidding further dispute, the conflict continued and became linked to political conflicts in the Dutch Republic. The Remonstrants were assailed both by personal enemies and by the political weapons of Maurice of Orange. The foremost ally, Johan van Oldenbarnevelt, was executed, and other leaders were imprisoned. In 1618–19 the Synod of Dordrecht, after expelling the 13 Arminian pastors headed by Simon Episcopius, established the victory of the Calvinist school. It drew up 93 canonical rules, and confirmed the authority of the Belgic Confession and the Heidelberg Catechism. The judgment of the Synod was enforced through the deposition and, in some cases, banishment of Remonstrant ministers. An exile community was founded in Antwerp in 1619. In 1621 they were allowed to settle in Schleswig, where they built the town of Friedrichstadt. The doctrine of the Remonstrance was embodied in 1621 in a confessio written by Episcopius, a major theologian, while Jan Uytenbogaert gave them a catechism and regulated the church order. The seminary in Amsterdam had distinguished pupils, including Kirchlius Limborch, Wetstein, and Leclerc. The school of theology, which grew more liberal and even rationalistic, forcefully debated the official Dutch Reformed State Church and other Christian denominations. After the death of Maurice of Orange in 1625, some exiles returned. The government became convinced that they posed no danger to the state, and in 1630 they were formally allowed to reside again in all parts of the Republic. They were not, however, officially allowed to build churches until the establishment of the Batavian Republic in 1795. Until then they held the services in Sikkel, Schulkerken, modern Remonstrant Brotherhood. The Remonstrant Brotherhood continues as a church in the Netherlands. It has its origins in the theology of Arminius and the signing of the 5 Articles of Remonstrance against a stricter form of Calvinism by 44 ministers. The Remonstrants proclaimed the responsibility of man, preordination through foreknowledge of faith, and that Christ's death was sufficient for all. In line with the progressive views on religion, Remonstrants have been blessing same-sex partnerships on an equal footing as different-sex weddings from 1986 onwards. In this, the Remonstrant were the first Christian church in the world to bless same-sex relationships similar to other relations. The Remonstrants first received official recognition in 1795. The chief congregation has been in Rotterdam. Today, the Remonstrant Brotherhood has some 5,780 members and friends in 46 congregations in the Netherlands, and 1 congregation in Friedrichstadt in northern Germany. It keeps fellowship with the European Liberal Protestant Network. Remonstrants place big emphasis on personal faith and are not in agreement with one another on questions of faith and social issues. They consider that the message of the gospel cannot be separated from true choices in the struggle to live together, on the road to a world with peace and justice. What binds them is the statement of principle. The Remonstrant Church is a community of faith which, rooted in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and true to its principle of freedom and tolerance, seeks to worship and serve God. Confessions of faith. In addition to statement of principle, most contemporary Remonstrants write their own declaration of profession of faith when they become a member of the community. The Brotherhood did express at 3 times in the history the faith they share in a confessional statement, in 1621, 1940 and 2006. Remonstrants, however, being a non-creedal denomination, consider no confession to have indisputable authority.